Hi, everyone. I'm Michaela, and today we welcome Luna. Is it Aura or Aura?
Yeah, aura.
Aura. Okay, I don't
Either
want to
either or.
mispronounce. Okay, to the Soundtrack of Our Lives podcast. She's going to talk a little bit about her latest EP, which, when this is recording, came out today.
Yes.
Her day to day as an artist and her creative process. And we're so glad that you're able to meet with us today.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, you join Corey Taylor on tour tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow will be the first day, which is pretty crazy, but I'm really excited.
Yeah, so how has that prep been?
I mean, the prep has been pretty crazy. I mean, I'm still an independent artist, so everything is self-funded. So
Hmm.
for me, I do a lot of the legwork up front. Yeah, so I plan all the travels and
Hmm.
the hotels and the routing and all that fun stuff. So I'm like my own tour manager. So it's been like a lot, but I've stayed organized. I have a really bad ADHD, so it's like this is like a big thing for me. I'm really breaking past some ADHD issues, but I've stayed organized. I'm on time, and I feel really good. Like I feel like I'm starting off the tour in a really good place. So
That's
I'm
awesome.
excited. Yes.
So your new EP dropped today. Can you share a few words about that?
Yeah, actually, I'm so excited that it's finally out. It's such an amazing body of work. I'm so proud of it. I did this project mainly with my friend Simon Oscroft, who did the production on it.
Hmm.
And, we wrote this thing in like 5 days because, we had to rush to get it done. And we just like got up early every day and we had an intention in mind of exactly what we wanted it to be, how we
Hmm.
wanted it to sound, and what we wanted it to be about. And I feel like we nailed it completely. Yeah, I'm so proud of it.
So when you go into the studio, do you go in with an idea what you want the song to be about, or do you just kind of come up with it as it goes by? How does that process work for you?
Yeah, so so the way we did it was I had an overall like overarching theme, which to me was fallacy, truth and fallacy. So
Hmm.
I had taken all of these different life experiences that sort of involved lies, whether it was, lies that, people were telling me, or lies that I was telling people, or lies that I tell myself.
Hmm.
And we base everything around that general theme, but I would basically get up every day and think about, okay, what is the energy that I feel like writing today? And what story do I want to write about? And I would bring that in to Simon and we would sit down and we would discuss it over, some fruit or a little bit of breakfast or some coffee.
Hmm.
And then we would get to it. So that's sort of how it worked that week.
I love that.
Yeah, it's fun.
So I noticed that you'd chosen the snake in a lot of your images for this particular EP. Is there any, reasoning behind why the snake is a symbol for this?
Yeah, so the snake represents the lie in each story that's being told.
That's really
So
cool.
it thanks. Yeah, that was a fun shoot to do. It's a real snake. Everyone always asks me, is that real? Because in the EP cover, I have the snake on my head, and no one wants to believe it's real because they're so freaked out. But even my mom and my aunt are just like, that's so strange, so creepy.
Hmm.
But yeah, the snake is real. Her name is Spirit. She's very sweet. She's a poser. She really likes to pose. She loves the camera. She always tries to find the camera. And each of those individual pieces in the covers are things that I've made. So, I mean, like the phone, I didn't make the phone I got
Hmm.
from Target, but I made, I made the money bag Bible with the cutout. I made the mushrooms,
Hmm.
and it's just all stuff that I creatively made and wanted to shoot with the snake, and it was a really fun shoot day.
That's cool. How was working with the snake? Because I am terrified of snakes, but how did that go for you?
Oh my gosh, I wish you were there because you would not be scared of snakes after meeting her because she's just so sweet and she gives you kisses. So if you hold out your hand, she'll like lick your hand like a dog. Like it's really precious. And snakes are really very timid animals and
Hmm.
they, most of the time don't bite unless, I mean, of course, if you like see one out in the wild, like don't go anywhere near it, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, these snakes are, they're trained and they're scales are really soft. Like I don't know. I think it would change your mind if you met her, but
Hmm.
I totally understand the fear. It was really fun working with her.
Yeah. So did you have a fear of snakes going into it?
No, I didn't. So when my first boyfriend ever, he actually had a snake. And
Hmm.
so I at first was like, "Oh my gosh, like this is so creepy." And I got used to her too. I She was just the sweetest thing. So after that, I just wasn't afraid of snakes anymore.
I guess, exposure is the best way to get over fears.
Well, that's what they say, right? That's so funny.
So you mentioned that you had made and bought the materials that were shown in your pictures. So is that something, or the cover artwork? Yeah, that's the right word.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that
yeah.
something that's important to you that you make or, pick out those particular items?
Yeah, I can be a bit of a perfectionist.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I a lot of the time I'll just do things myself because, I have a very clear vision in mind.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I usually like to, get my hands dirty and get in there and be really creative. It also helps being creative when, you have a certain budget going towards
Hmm.
your project. So you sort of have to be creative. You're
Hmm.
forced to be creative. And as an independent artist, being creative is probably the most important thing that you can be because you're not like one of these artists that has millions and millions of dollars that can go towards anything.
Hmm.
You have a very select amount of dollars that can go towards it. So but I enjoy it. I think that even if I did have, a massive budget going towards a project, I wouldn't even really use it because I really do enjoy getting in there and doing it myself. And it's so much more fulfilling. Now I can look at these photos and know that, I made some of those things by hand and I just feel so proud of it.
That's awesome for you. I love that.
Thank you.
So, you're an independent artist, and I know that's very important to you, but do you ever see yourself, signing with a label at any point?
Yeah, I do. It would have to be the right label.
Hmm.
I've remained independent intentionally. The industry is really interesting. The business side of the industry is really interesting. You're essentially trading your intellectual property and your
Hmm.
art for money to make that art a reality and like bringing it out to the world and touring and doing all of that. But you have to choose really wisely who you go with. So I do see myself definitely signing to a label.
Hmm.
Maybe even an independent label that's under a more major.
Hmm.
I see that as maybe the first step, but yeah, I'm not jumping into any crazy deals anytime soon. I've waited this long. I can continue to hold out a little bit longer.
Yeah. And so obviously going on tour as an independent artist is a lot harder. But what in this tour are you most excited about?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm excited about the shows. We're playing, really big venues.
Hmm.
And from what I've seen so far online, because we're joining like halfway through the tour,
Yeah.
so I've been keeping up on it, and it just looks like everyone's showing up early to see the openers, and a lot of the time that's not the case.
Hmm.
So I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about how enthusiastic the audience is and how excited they are to be there to even support the openers. So
Yeah.
I'm just really excited to meet all those people and to be able to play my music for them.
Yeah. That's my biggest pet peeve when people go to concerts but don't show up for the opener.
You never know. Like sometimes the opener will blow your mind.
Hmm.
It's the music industry is so interesting because you really have to prove yourself.
Yeah.
You don't just sell out venues. You have to open for other people. You have to constantly be touring. There's a lot of things that you have to do to prove yourself, and most people have no idea that there's this untapped potential and talent out there. So to not go and watch an opener, I think you're really doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah. I mean, they're chosen because the artist likes them. And if you like that artist, you're bound to, like the opener. So,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think, younger fans, really like to come early and see the openers,
hmm.
and then older fans I've noticed really like to come early and see the openers, but there's this weird little gray area between in the ages where they're just like, I'll just like, we'll pregame and then we'll go to the show and we'll see the person that we wanted to see. But yeah, maybe that'll change over time. Who knows?
Yeah. Now that you're saying that, so I work at a concert venue in Boston, and I'm like, yeah, that makes so much sense. I see that.
Oh, do you? Okay, so I'm not totally off.
No, there was one band where it was kind of all that like middle, not young, not old, and we counted 15 people for the opener.
Oh
Everybody
my
was
gosh.
most people were already there. They were just getting beers.
Oh
And it
no.
was so awkward and I felt so bad.
Oh, that's so, yeah. See, look, I should just really gun it for the older crowd. No, yeah, a fan, the way that fans react to things and the audience reacts to things definitely changes as you're aging. And
Hmm.
yeah, so yeah, I'm the same way though. I want to go see the openers, especially like you said, like the artists, if you love them, like they chose these
Hmm.
people to be here, so why not go see it?
Yeah, and also they're, taking a risk putting their work out there. So it's good to support them. Even if you don't,
Absolutely.
love their music, somebody is going to. But the support goes a
Absolutely.
long way.
Totally.
Yeah, it was so crazy to me. We were trying to be like super loud cheering them on, but you can only do so much.
Oh man, what a bummer. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I've done stuff like that before, believe me, where, half the room is empty and then it's completely full by the time, the headliner goes on.
Hmm.
So I definitely get that, but you got to perform as if the room is full,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
because you never know who's watching.
Yeah. So when you're on tour, what do you do to, take a little time for yourself?
It's a good question. I don't there's not a lot of time to yourself.
Hmm.
No, I like to do yoga. I'll go on walks. I just like get some fresh air.
Hmm.
And but there's so much going on and so
Yeah.
many people involved in a tour that there's just always someone around. But right now I'm sitting in a room and it's very peaceful. I'm really enjoying this.
Good. Time for yourself is always important.
Absolutely. Yes. I need to be better about that. I need to be better about being like, I need to separate myself from the situation. But it's hard when, the people that you love and your friends are all on tour with you.
Hmm.
You just want to like hang out the whole time. It starts to feel like you're
Yeah,
on a vacation. But
exactly.
yeah, no. Meditating too is really important.
Hmm. Yeah. So what other hobbies do you enjoy when you're, not making music or doing stuff for your music?
Um, I really like to cook.
Hmm.
I'm a huge cook. Yeah, there's something about it that is like what I was just talking about. It's very meditative.
Hmm.
I can really turn off and just like focus on what it is that I'm doing. I'll usually like put my computer on the counter or turn the TV so I can watch some like Real Housewives while I'm
Yeah.
cooking. And that's like my safe space is the kitchen. And I like it because there's a passion for it the same way
Hmm.
that I have a passion for music, but there's no pressure.
Mm.
And I can push myself to be better and try new things the way that I do with music, but not having the pressure there really allows me, the ability to enjoy it, like be calm, I guess. Not that I don't enjoy making music, but it is, it can be a lot of pressure
Hmm.
sometimes. And yeah, there's no pressure in the kitchen. It's just me enjoying it and having fun. So yeah, I love to cook.
Do you have a favorite meal to cook?
I don't. My whole thing is I don't like doing the same thing twice.
Hmm.
I'll repeat recipes and stuff, but I just want to learn how to do something new every time. So I'm just constantly looking up recipes and like on Reddit, looking up, unique
Hmm.
recipes or how to elevate pasta or how to elevate this or that. And just, learning new techniques. That's sort of what I'm really into right now.
That's awesome. That sounds really fun.
Yeah, I love it. I think at some point in time I probably would like to either do like a program overseas, like a cooking class
Hmm.
program, or even, go to culinary school just to go and to
Yeah,
learn and to be really good.
that's cool. I wish I can't cook. I'm not very good at it.
Everyone can cook. You just have to learn. No, I'm trying to think of like I didn't really like cooking at first. I'm trying to think of what really got me into it. I think I during the pandemic maybe.
Hmm.
I don't know. I started watching what is it called? Not is it Chopped? I just started watching these like reality TV
There's so
shows.
many of them.
I know. But there was one in particular where they give you a basket and it's just full of random stuff that do not go together at all. And these people have to like make something out of that, make something like gourmet out of
Hmm.
that. And it really like got my brain thinking about like, oh, because they would talk about, well, I have pickles and I have pineapple, so the sweetness and the pineapple and the salt and the pickle, the way that this mixes with that and that blends with this, like this will make a great sauce, and so
Hmm.
from that I was like, I never really thought about it like that, like the sweet and the sour and the spicy and how everything sort of balances together. It's almost like
Hmm.
chemistry, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a science to it. And I think from there I was like, well, that's really interesting. So I would like do the same thing. Like, what do I have in my fridge? Like, what can I make out of this?
Hmm.
And I think that's where it all started for me.
That makes sense.
Yeah. A reality TV show. That's very on brand for me. I love reality TV.
They're so good to watch when you don't want to watch anything.
Yeah, I know. And like, yeah, when you just want to like, what are they calling it now? When you want to rot in bed.
It's just like zone out.
Yeah, when I just want to not think about anything except for
Hmm.
other people's problems. It's
Right.
really nice. Yeah.
Yes. It's a good distraction from the world.
It is, yes. And also like I'm just like violently addicted to anything Real Housewives. So I've seen all of the Real Housewives.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, every season, every episode. Some of them I've rewatched multiple times. Yeah.
We all have that reality TV show that we just binge
What's
watch.
what's yours?
Oh, I don't know. Recently, it's on Netflix. It's called Glow Up.
Oh,
It's yeah,
yes. I know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
it's really cool, and I wish I could do makeup like that, but I know I can't.
You said you wish you could do makeup like that?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Glow Up is so cool. I watched a few episodes one time and that kind of also made me want to get into makeup.
same.
So I went and like bought a bunch of makeup and then I didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, I know I have a bunch of makeup, but I put it on, but I can never like do it to the extent that they do because I don't want to some point, at some level. I don't want to put the effort into it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, that's how I feel too. I like to get started on things. It's again a part of my ADHD. I'll be like
Hmm.
really into something for a second and then I'm like, oh wait, never mind.
Yeah.
My attention is now on something else.
So your music revolves around, themes of rebellion, feminism, and individuality. So what do you believe it is about these particular themes that resonate with you the most and then, kind of inspire to make your music about them?
It's really important to me, I think, to create a space of, I guess, let me think about how to say this. I think it's important to me to show women that like it's okay to be whatever we want because it feels like, there's some boxes that we're allowed to fit in and some
Hmm.
boxes we're not allowed to fit in. And I
Yep.
just sort of want to be the person that can show women that I'm willing to break through any box and any boundary to say
Hmm.
whatever it is that I need to say, to do whatever it is that I need to do to be authentically myself. And so if I can, walk into a room and really just be myself authentically, I think that in and of itself really, I guess, is sort of sets a precedent for other people. I
Hmm.
when I play my shows and I have girls come up to me afterwards, in middle America and they're young girls and they're like mind blown because they had never really seen something like that
Hmm.
before. I always keep that top of mind yeah, I always keep that top of mind when I'm writing.
Hmm. I love that. Young girls definitely need people to look up to.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so, especially, nowadays, not that like there aren't many female artists that you can look up to. I think there's plenty, but
Hmm.
I think there's just always been a lot of pressure to sort of be everything but yourself.
Yeah.
So to see someone being authentically who they are, I think it is freeing in a lot of ways when
Hmm.
girls can see that it's okay for them to just be who they are and they
Yeah.
don't have to, morph themselves into these other things to be accepted by society.
100%. So, how do you make sure that you share enough of yourself, but also keep some that's, kind of hidden and that's just for you?
Yeah, I try to not be too on the nose, with my lyrics.
Hmm.
I feel like I can find a way to express myself and tell a story in a way that feels metaphorical that anyone can sort of grasp and attach to their own story.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I feel like if I'm a little too on the nose about like you did this and I did this, and it's
Hmm.
a very like almost like conversational type of thing, it can kind of take away the magic of someone being able to inject their story and their experience into it. So
Hmm.
I think in doing that, it allows me to also maintain a part of myself and not let too much of myself go.
Yeah. And then, how do you kind of manage that today with, artists being expected to kind of be available 24/7 on social media to their fans?
Yeah, that's such a tricky one. I don't think that artists necessarily have to be so available.
Hmm.
There is this facade that like we have to be because, we see other people doing it, and that must mean that like, okay, I have to be fully open and fully honest, and I have to be crying into my phone when I'm upset, which like to
Hmm.
me feels very strange.
Yeah.
I'm not crying into my phone at any point, but to each their own. If that's how someone wants to, to deal with their problems, or they want to share every last little bit of
Hmm.
themselves with the world, then that's their prerogative. But for me, I think that it is much more healthy to remember that you and your personality don't necessarily matter, because what you do is you make art,
Hmm.
and the art should always be first,
Yeah.
and you always come second. So if you're the type of person that really enjoys your privacy, you don't need to feel pressured into being this person that's constantly sharing every last little bit of your life
Hmm.
online. Also, it's not safe.
Yeah.
I think as an artist, you put yourself in a really vulnerable position, because you put yourself in a position where you're in front of, millions and millions of people online,
Hmm.
and you have no idea who's on the other end of, the screen.
Yeah.
So you have to be really, really careful about how much you share, and, who you're sharing it with.
100%. Yeah. That's especially as a woman, unfortunately.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I don't like to share too much, because I grew up with my dad was a cop and eventually became a homicide detective. So I definitely know what the world looks like. I understand it
Hmm.
from that point of view, and I know like, yeah, how dangerous it can be. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't share too much of myself online.
It's a good thing. People definitely share too much.
Oh yeah. I personally think so, yeah.
So, how do you recharge and find inspiration when you're feeling creatively drained?
I watch Real Housewives. No, how do I find inspiration? I mean, I just like will take a break from writing for a while. Yeah, I just won't write anything, because I feel like you have to live your life in order to really fully engage with how you feel about things in
Hmm.
order to be inspired.
That makes sense. Do you have any plans for new music that you can talk about?
Yeah, so as soon as I get back from this tour, I'm gonna like go on a little mini vacation to treat myself, and then I'm gonna definitely jump right back into the studio and write a new project.
Exciting.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited.
Be nice to take a vacation after tour.
Yes, I'm gonna need it, definitely. But yeah, I'm excited.
So, when you perform live, what's the most fulfilling part of that? And then how does it differ from, performing in the studio for you?
Oh, it's completely different. When I'm in the studio, I'm doing what I need to do to make the song sound how it needs to sound.
Hmm.
And I'm also just like, I'm just myself, I'm my
Hmm.
my goofy self in the studio. And then when I'm performing live on stage, it's like I become a completely different person, because I am now taking on the role of expressing the music that's already been written in
Hmm.
a physical way. So in doing that, I sort of like put on a persona, and I put on a show. Is basically what it comes down to. And in the studio, I'm not putting on a show.
Hmm. Do you ever practice putting on the show before you go on tour?
Oh yeah, definitely. I do tons of rehearsals, and I do that, but it doesn't really fully come out until I'm on stage.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that you wanted to mention or talk about today?
No, I think we covered everything. Yeah, you've been very thoughtful in your questions. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Try to make sure that we do a lot of research so that it's very unique to you and what you like.
I appreciate that.
So the last question that we have that we ask all of our guests is, what is the soundtrack of your life?
What is the soundtrack of my life? The soundtrack of my life is sitting around a table with my family and playing games. That's the soundtrack of my life.
What games do you play with your family?
Just any board game. My brother loves board games, so he will always just get a new one and we'll pull it out and play it as a family.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
We banned family game nights because my family is too competitive.
that's so funny. We are too, but we get into it. We love it.
Yeah. We had to ban it because it caused too much fighting.
Oh no. That's part of it.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Thank you so much for coming to talk to me today. It's been awesome. I'm very excited for you to enjoy your tour and then, your vacation afterwards.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then can you drop your socials for our listeners?
Yeah, on Instagram and TikTok, it's just at it's Luna Aura, and then on YouTube, it's just Luna Aura.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Yeah. Have a good tour.
Thank you.
Listeners, go check it out and make sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at STO Lives Podcast. Thanks for joining us.